sick of school and you don't know what to do, put on your pajamas, tune into Chamily drama. We'll answer all your questions about our cool Champlain traditions, like Big Bowl and Milk Run and Fall College Weekend fun. So if you want the latest tea and wanna keep up with CC peeps, put on your pajamas, tune into Chamily drama. We can give you useful information to get you through your education, help with degree planning, book you in for academic advising. And if writing essays gives you chills, come to academic skills. You can come in your pajamas, just don't forget to tune into Chamily drama. It's Chamily drama. Chamily
Before we start, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are occupying land in Peterborough, Nogojinawong on the Treaty 20 territory and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. This land is associated with the Williams Treaty. We offer our gratitude to the First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings.
Hi everyone, this is your Champlain College ambassadors, Chloe
and Chloe,
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojinawong, Canada.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chamily Drama. Just to start off, we are going to go over a few announcements of things that are happening soon. So first is cabinet elections. Nominations are now closed, but voting is going to be opening soon. So keep an eye on your Trent emails. Cabinet will be sending out a voting link where you can vote for who you'd like to be on cabinet this next year. You can also check their Instagram for more updates about when voting is going to happen. And you can also check their Instagram for some information on the candidates as well.
Also, just a recap of our grad dinner that happened this past Friday. It was such a great dinner. Thank you all so much to Cabinet and to the college office for putting that on for all of the graduates. I know we personally love our grad gifts. Also, a huge shout out to everybody who won an award. Chloe and I are so grateful for our awards that we won, and we just wanted to give another congratulations to everybody that did win an award. So if you didn't go this year and you're graduating next year, remember grad dinner is a really great thing, and keep an eye out for award nominations in your inbox.
Yeah, also happening soon is the deadline to apply to graduate. So if you haven't looked at that, you should take a look at the convocation website that Trent has, or take a look at the last episode that we had, which was all about graduation. Application to graduate is soon, so keep an eye on that as well.
And now just a quick update about Orientation Week for all those that apply to be an Orientation Week leader. If you applied, you should have received an email last Wednesday or Thursday about the interview process. So you have to make sure you sign up to attend the first part, which was a carousel interview. That would have been happening on Sunday and Monday of this week. If you missed that though, don't worry, just email the facilitator email, which is ccoweek2023@gmail.com, and we'll be able to sort out another interview with you.
Since the year is coming to a bit of an end, we are having one of our last events happening. It's going to be in April, and it is our last Great Hall Bingo for the year. So we are sad, we love bingo, we are going to miss it, but hopefully it'll be back next year. We don't have a specific date for when it's going to be happening yet, so just keep an eye on our Instagram and updates will follow.
Also, just a quick reminder, the last day of classes is quickly approaching, and it is April 6th. So just if you have any last minute assignments you have to get done, just a quick reminder that it is happening next week. And then followed by that will be the exam period, so make sure you are all prepared to study up and really grind out the rest of the semester.
Yeah, if you're looking for some tips with studying for exams, you can take a look at some of our past episodes where we've covered that, as well as the Academic Skills website is an awesome resource too. And then another event that we are going to be hosting soon is the Trent Evening Quilters, which is going to be happening on April 15th. So we have some quilters who are going to come and do a little quilt show. It'll be super fun, so I hope to see everyone else there.
And just a quick reminder as well, the deadline to apply for summer courses is May 3rd. So if that's something you think you might be considering, definitely take a look at that as courses are filling up.
Hey everyone, this is your Champlain College ambassadors, Chloe
and Chloe,
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojidawong, Canada.
So this week we are going to be talking about mental health, the importance of mental health, and its relation to sleep as well. So first we're just going to talk about a few campus services that help with mental health. One of them is the Student Health Services. It is an appointment-based medical clinic for all registered part-time and full-time Trent Simons campus students. And there is a doctor on campus there, so that's really great. It's not a walk-in clinic. You do need an appointment. So to book an appointment, you just call them during their office hours, which I believe are 9 to 4.
Yes.
Their phone number is 705-748-1481. And then you would just speak to the medical office secretaries and make your appointment. So things that you're going to be asked for when making your appointment are going to be first and last name, student number, your Ontario Health Insurance Plan number, so your OHIP number, or an alternative insurance plan, your current telephone number, and then also the reason for your visit as well.
Another great thing that is offered by Student Wellness is counseling services. So these are free, confidential, short-term mental health counseling that is offered by Trent for any registered Trent student. So you can book an appointment by visiting the website trentu.ca/wellness/counseling, and they have a step-to-step guide on how to register. Also really important, if you are in a mental health crisis, there are many different telephone numbers that are available on their website as well. One great resource is you can email crisis@trentu.ca, and they can help provide you with quick resources. But they are also only open during office hours, which is 9 to 4. If you're outside of these hours, please feel free to call for County's Crisis, which is an urgent mental health support for Peterborough and the surrounding area, and these are available 24/7. So you can call them at the phone number 705-745-6484. Another really good resource is Good to Talk Crisis Text Line. So if you're not really feeling up to talking verbally on the phone, you'd rather write everything down, you can text them at Good to Talk ON, all capitals. Just text that word to 686868, and there are volunteers available 24/7 there as well. If it's an immediate emergency, please call Trent Security or visit your nearest hospital as soon as you can. So Trent Counseling Services offer many different types of services to help students. One is the Therapy Assistance Online, TAO, which is a self-help service, which they have many different tools and guidelines and workshops that you can walk through yourself. And you can visit that on the counseling site as well. There's also many different groups and workshops that they offer throughout the year, so you can find a full list of these on their website. Another great resource is their single session therapy, which is a 60 to 90 minute therapy session. It's offered from September to April only, and you have to book this ahead of time. These are only for short-term assistance, however, so if you do think you need long-term counseling, you will book that through their other booking system, which is also on their website. Another great resource that they have is they have specific support for racialized and queer and LGBTQ+ identifying individuals on campus. So these are counselors whose sole focus is to help these individuals. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check out their website as well.
Another on-campus resource for mental health that's super important is the Student Accessibility Services. So we call that SAS usually. And this helps students with disabilities acquire academic accommodations and assist them to succeed in their academic career. Students with disabilities who require academic accommodation support must first obtain documentation, which requires a reference from a registered doctor. Next, there's an intake or pre-intake questionnaire where you meet with an accessibility advisor in order to develop a plan about your accommodations, and it'll take about 1 hour for that intake interview to go. And yeah, you can also find more information about the steps to register with SAS and get accommodations through their website, which is trendu.ca/wellness/SAS.
And then a great resource that SAS offers as well is the Center for Academic Testing. So if you have a learning disability or a mental health issue that affects your ability to write tests, either on time with the class, at the same speed as everybody, you can book your test through SAS with the Center for Academic Testing, which provides alternative proctoring sources for accommodating exams for those who are registered with SAS. So they provide you with a separate room. You can work at your own accommodated pace, and it's just a really good resource that not a lot of people know about.
Now moving on to the topic of sleep. So we're going to talk about a few organizations that are affiliated with Trent that research sleep and its importance. So the first is the Canadian Sleep Society, and it's a national organization providing information and resources on sleep for Canadians. There's also the Sleep Foundation, which is an American organization of medical professionals providing education and resources on sleep as well. And last is Sleepwell, which is a nonprofit website, and it comes from Dalhousie University, and it provides education and resources for insomnia with a focus on cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia.
Yeah, so if you're struggling with sleep or you think you could use some new tips and tricks for helping you get a good night's sleep to help with your studies or your mental health, definitely check out any of these websites and resources.
And speaking of sleep, now we're going to have an interview with Eric Deuce discussing his undergraduate thesis about the relationship between sleep and mental health.
Hi Eric, so can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, okay, so my name is Eric Deuce. I'm a fourth year biology student, Bachelor of Science, doing a minor in business administration, and hopefully a specialization in health sciences.
Awesome. And what is your thesis on?
So my thesis is basically looking at sleep and psychological health in undergraduate students. We basically just wanted to see if a sleep and meditation app called Calm, which you guys have probably heard of on the App Store and other ads, has any beneficial effect on undergraduate students' sleep, as well as feelings of depression, stress, or anxiety.
And can you tell us a bit about why you chose this topic or decided to do this topic for your thesis?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm interested in the topic, of course, but it's mostly because that was what my professor or supervisor kind of recommended and supported most. I was kind of indifferent at the time and didn't really know what I wanted to study, so I just kind of went with it. And yeah, it's kind of weird because like my master's, which I'm going to be studying at Trent, is like in a completely different field, so it kind of just shows that you don't have to be narrowed down to one field based off of one thing.
Definitely. And what made you decide to want to do an undergraduate thesis?
Well, I found that generally an undergraduate thesis kind of opens up a lot of opportunities in terms of like work experience and relationships that you can gain with your profs as well as professionals in the field. It kind of just helps on resumes and looks good in that kind of way. Gives a lot of work experience as well as general experience and practice overall. That's kind of the main reason.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how did you go about getting a supervisor to oversee your thesis?
So it's not as complicated as you kind of expect. Basically, you just kind of email around, like take a Google on like the Trent website and see what faculty are like in your program. So for example, I looked up the biology professors. You just kind of email around or stay after class and ask your professor directly. I like email because it's less intimidating. But you just kind of email around and eventually one of them will say yes. It took me like 5 tries, so no rush, no pressure. But yeah.
I like the term Google around. That's funny.
And would you recommend doing an undergraduate thesis to other students at Trent?
I definitely would. I would know that it's very demanding and very time consuming, and it can be difficult, but if you plan accordingly and organize, it's very rewarding. I kind of feel like this year has definitely been the year that I've learned the most so far out of all of my years at Trent. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it, just as long as you're prepared and willing to do the work.
What would you say was the most rewarding part about doing a thesis?
Most rewarding part, to be honest, doing a thesis has a big aspect in terms of validation. It kind of helps me validate to myself that like I'm able to do my degree, I understand what's going on, I'm not as unprepared as I thought, and I think that kind of psychological aspect is a huge portion of it. It kind of really helps. It just makes you feel better about yourself. It's a lot of work, but it feels like it makes you feel more capable. So.
What would you say is the hardest part of doing a thesis?
The hardest part would definitely be the time management aspect. There's lots of, for me, because mine's like participant-based and survey-based, there's a lot of like organizing and doing meetings with participants and over a really long period of time. Like for the past 2 months, it's just been crazy, but it's fine. It's worked out. But yeah, overall, definitely time management, making sure that you plan ahead enough and that you can organize yourself enough to be able to do it is a big aspect.
Yeah, and if people are having trouble with time management, that's also something that academic skills can help with. So booking an academic skills appointment for that would be a good idea too.
And so going off of that, is there anything you would recommend that people should know before they decide to go forward with an undergrad thesis?
I feel like that wasn't the next one. So I guess like overall, something that you should definitely know is that it's not going to be easy. You can't go into it kind of unsure if you really want to do it or if you're willing to. I was unsure at the time, but at that same time, just make sure that regardless you're willing to put in the work and you're like once you do get into the swing of things, just fully commit to it. Don't let it swing. Don't half, but you have to be willing to put in the work. Yes.
Technically, legally, you can swear. I don't know if you can approve it though.
I think nobody's right.
But according to radio guidelines, you're allowed to.
Just half will work.
That's fine.
I'll just I'll cut it. It's your turn.
Okay. And what are some of the benefits you would say to doing an undergraduate thesis?
As mentioned before, it's definitely the experience aspect, the networking, the opportunities that it opens up, resume building, and as I said before, the validation aspect really helps.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you tell us some, restarting. Can you tell us a few things that you've learned while doing your thesis, maybe about the topic specifically, about yourself, just in general?
Overall, I've learned that, one thing is that professors, once you get to know them, are really nice people. I got really lucky with my professor. She's absolutely lovely. My supervisor is Dr. Sarah West, so that's one thing for sure. But overall, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be this, what's the word, Herculean task, basically, but it's not. You can work through it. You can learn a lot of cool things just by attending the thesis class seminars, because there's a whole series of presentations where people are just presenting different topics. You get a lot from that. It's very interesting. And from the results of my study, students are super stressed. So.
Sounds like this research is needed then.
Alright, well thank you so much. Just last second, is there anything else you'd like to share about the thesis process?
Not really, just kind of, if you want to do it, enjoy it, commit to it. It's fun, it teaches you a lot, gives you a lot of experience. I'd highly recommend it. So.
Great, alright. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Eric. That was so great to learn about the pros and cons about doing a thesis. Hopefully this would help you guys make a decision about whether or not you want to do an undergrad thesis. Maybe you didn't even know that was an option. It is an option for almost any degree here at Trent, so definitely take a look at it if it's something you're considering. Now we're just going to go over a few reminders. First, keep an eye out for cabinet elections, as they will be, the voting will begin really soon. As well, O-Week applicants, keep an eye on your email. And last day of classes is coming up on April 6th.
All right, everyone, have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
This has been your Champlain College Ambassadors, Chloe
And Chloe.
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojinawang, Canada.